did you reflect on it after the meditation? Then you develop the clear understanding, or did something happen during meditation? Then it lead to that understanding.
Also during meditation as well as throughout the day.
Yes, when you are out of the meditation, in your daily mindfulness, you reflect, you contemplate, then you develop the understanding.
Then I
that one is also very good. Well, that one will stabilize your second turning. But there is another type, which is the realization while you are in that state of silence. As you experience that silence, the meditative mind, the awareness, then it becomes very still. Then as this thing happens, all of a sudden, inside, deep inside, there is a realization, and that one is more penetrative. Then when that one happens, after you come out of the meditation, you become very different. Then when you reflect into it, contemplate into what happened, then the understanding will become very different, very much more penetrative and stable. So that second possibility is what most people find difficult to realize. But the first aspect that you have realized is also considered very good, because that will lead to the initial wisdom, yoniso manasikara. Then as you understand the three characteristics of nature will become clear to you, like you described just now. All thoughts or sankhara, the thinking process, they are of that nature. They arise, they pass away. You follow, you stir the mind, you create more, you get yourself more entangled. Then when you give meaning, you develop the attachment, the craving, the clinging, you develop the suffering. So all this you will start to understand. Then because they arise and they pass away, then you realize it is not a permanent, unchanging entity that you can cling on to, hold on to, and say, this is me, this is I, therefore all this can be mine. So that understanding you need to reflect, contemplate until it becomes very clear within your daily mindfulness contemplation. To do the contemplation, sometimes you can just, like alone at home, you can just sit on a chair, then you can reflect, contemplate. Or you can sit outside your house, the garden there, especially on the morning, very cooling, where people haven't wake up, but you already wake up. Then sometimes you got a balcony or veranda, or sometimes I walk outside my garden there. Then I will reflect. Or sometimes in my house, I will also do that reflection. I can either walk slowly, then the reflection will arise by itself. Then through that reflection, contemplation, it will develop clear understanding, and there is joy. Then as Dhamma unfolds, your understanding becomes different. Then every time you encounter the same sense experience or similar nature of sense experience, your understanding, which we call yoniso manasikara, they will prompt you, they will straight away come out and tell you that the characteristics of nature of all phenomena, they are like that. This is the universal characteristics of all phenomena. So no point clinging, no point grasping, no point holding. and there is nobody inside there to do all this. Then your thought process will become different. The straightening of the view will liberate your mind. Then you will not want to think like normal people. Then to you, sankhara anicca, sankhara dukkha, sankhara anatta. You understand very clearly. That's why you don't want to argue with people anymore. You don't want to get yourself entangled anymore. You don't want to react. You don't want to stir your mind. You don't want to do anything. Unless it can bring about some form of wholesomeness, goodness. Unless it can help out in a situation or people. Then you need to arise. You will arise through an understanding, following Noble Eightfold Path. And that is moving into the cultivation of the Noble Eightfold Path. From the understanding, you will move into the cultivation, which means life itself. How to apply the Noble Eightfold Path in life. So every time you see something, hear something, smell something, taste something, tactily feel something, or the thought through memory, recall something. This Yoniso Manasikara, wisdom at the moment of sense experience, will immediately prompt you to enable you to act according to wisdom. So acting according to wisdom means straight away you will know thing is just the way it is. The world is the world. People are just the way they are. Conditions like that, things like that. You will understand. That's why straight away your mind will not react, will not stir like before. It's at peace. Then it will have the understanding to act. Then how can I resolve this amicably? How should I arise my speech? So if you have trained yourself through right speech, right action and right thought, then all this will be very handy. But initially you need to go through the training. What constitutes right thought? What constitutes right speech? What constitutes right action? You have to develop it first. That's why the four right effort is very important. The four right effort, the first two is to deal with defilements. So that one is for people who are not really very stable in their ability to develop the meditation. But at least they have the pariyati understanding, means phase one of Dhamma. They have learned this teaching, then they know this teaching based on what they have studied or contemplated and reflected. Then they try to apply. So apply, the first right effort, the Buddha say, right effort to abandon the wrong thought, wrong speech, and wrong action that has arisen. So if you put it to test, you will have to inquire, why did the Buddha say this? How can I do it? So the inquiry is very important. The Buddha said this is because initially you have to learn to see the defilement, means the wrong thought, the wrong speech, and wrong action, before you can abandon it. So to see it, you must have mindfulness. That's why daily mindfulness is very important. Then to see, you must also have contemplated and reflected as to what constitutes evil. That's why the Noble Eightfold Path cultivation need right view. What constitutes evil? Whatever speech, action and thought process that has the evil roots of greed, hatred and delusion, they constitute evil. They are evil root of all evil, make you evil. Then you have to expand on it. Greed is not just greediness. All of your desire, your lust, your craving, your covetousness, your like, your pleasurable attachment, they are all part of greed. Even your selfishness, your possessiveness, your craving and all these things. They are part of greed. Then you have to move on to what constitutes the evil roots of hatred, anger, ill will, even envy, jealousy. Then when you see them arising in your mind state, through mindfulness, you are aware. That's how you know this is wrong thought. Anger has a reason. Fear has a reason. Dislike, pleasant and unpleasant experience that goes on in your mind, the stirring of the mind, the reaction of mind. Then you realize all these are the evil roots of greed and hatred. Then delusion is ignorance that leads to fear, worry, anxiety, sorrow and lamentation. Then all this is the beginning of cultivation. When I know what constitutes evil, then I can be mindful of them. That is the first training. Then after I saw them, let's say, the greed, the selfishness, the thought, how am I going to abandon it? Or let's say anger, emotion, envy, jealousy, fear. After they have arisen, how can I abandon it? Or how can you all abandon it? You have to understand. What did the Buddha teach? Yeah? There are how many ways to abandon them? Huh? 5 ways. What are the 5 ways? I write them down. 5 ways to abandon unwholesome thoughts. Speech and action. First way is what? Yeah? First way is what? Huh? Louder. No, sati is mindfulness. You are aware, you are already mindful that, let's say, you have an unwholesome thought. You got a selfish thought, or lustful thought, or greedy thought, or envy, jealousy, fear. Let's say you aware through mindfulness a reason already. How are you going to abandon it? Very good. Think of the direct opposite wholesome thought. So this one still involves the thinking. Think of the direct opposite wholesome thought. Wholesome thought. Or wholesome speech and wholesome action. Let's say you got anger, you got envy, jealousy, hatred. What is the direct opposite wholesome thought? Metta, very good. Love, metta. Then when you realize that you have a lot of cruelty, you want to harm people, hurt people, even animal or whatever, the direct opposite wholesome thought is develop compassion. You must have compassion. You must feel for the living being, their suffering, their misery. Then you reflect. If I do this, karma-wise, in future I will be born like that creature, like that insect or that animal. Then people will destroy me. People will kill me, will harm me. With cruelty, you reap what you sow. Do you want that? If you don't want that, then you must have compassion for them. Because they also have life. They are also living beings like you. So when you reflect, you contemplate, this compassion will arise, and you cannot do it. That's how you can overcome it. That's why love and compassion is very important. Then when you have lust, what must you reflect? Huh? What is it? Huh? What is it? I can't. Oh, that one is too drastic. No need to go to that one. That one can help, of course, but very drastic. Like sometimes I was told by people who report to me, Bertil, what you think? The monk told me to reflect on the skeleton. Everything also look like skeleton only, so no mood. How pretty, how beautiful, how young, how what we call, how lovely. But look inside, skeleton only. Or like David said, the 32 part, ayo, actually. It's beneath the skin, all the foul thing and all those things. Then when it's devoid of consciousness, that one, provided you have reflected, contemplated them before, then you will develop that dispassion, understand or not? That dispassion means you like, when you try to eat some good food, then when somebody says something, you lost the mood to eat. You experienced that before. No? You contemplate the 32 part is just the same. You lost the mood to do that. But for me, I prefer to do it in a very easy way. I reflect on contentment. You know what is contentment or not? Contentment is very important. If you are contented, then you will have the understanding. When you are contented, that's why the lay people, the Buddha prescribed 5 precepts. Understand? You don't have to go 8 precepts for lay people. Then contentment is, you must be contented. Let's say you're already married, understand? So you must be contented with your married life. If you don't have contentment, then the mind will think, understand? That craving, the desire, the lust, they will actually condition you to do foolish things. And because of that, we call that what is that word earlier? Cheap thriller. Is it cheap thrill? You know what you do or not? You destroy your whole family unit, understand or not? What happens if your spouse come to know? Then what is going to happen? Your whole family unity, harmony, disrupted. Your children is going to suffer. Your in-law is going to suffer. Your parents are going to suffer. Even your brother and sister who are immoral. It's just because you go and get yourself entangled in all this style thing. And the Cantonese got a very good saying, of all things you go and gather the soul zhao xi. In English, how to translate? It's like you go and gather all this shit back to the house and make your family unit miserable. So contentment is very important. When you have contentment, your mind is free. Even if you are very poor, you understand? You don't go and compare, ayo, how come my neighbor doing so well? They are not really that smart. I could have done better. But you don't understand the Buddha Dhamma. You don't know how to realize all these things. Because there are causes and conditions for their arising. So if you don't have contentment, you will develop envy, jealousy, and all those things. But when you have contentment, what happens? You are contented with life. You are contented with what you have. Then there is no more of this thought projection. Then you can be at peace. You will not have this wrong thought of envy, jealousy, unhappy thought. All this, no more. Then the lustful thought, the selfish thought, all no more, because you are contented with life. You are contented with what you have. You don't compare. So a lot of things, when you have contentment, you are very peaceful. Your life is very peaceful. You are very happy. Having a shelter over your head with a 3 meal and a simple life, you are so blessed, understand? Where you compare with people who don't have a shelter over their head, who don't even have proper meals. The 3 meals are not guaranteed. They who are born deformed, they have health problem, they have financial problem, they have disease leading to serious traumatic life-threatening situation. So a lot of things, when you have that contentment, you will have a lot of joy inside you. It's just like those who know how to reflect on contentment. When you are contented, you will appreciate life. Even your body, if it has any problem, you are contented that the other parts are still in order. The other organs are still functioning. At least you are not so bad. There are people who are worse than you. So contentment actually can put your mind at peace. You feel much better. So contentment is a very important virtue. That's why all these are virtue. The direct opposite wholesome thought is to think of the virtuous thought. Virtuous thought. Then number 2 is what? Gratitude is also under the first one. Virtuous thought, all this. Yeah. The second one is the consequent. Wait. Think of the consequent. Consequent of holding on to that wrong thought. Think of the consequence of holding on to that wrong thought. So if you hold on to the wrong thought, means these are evil thoughts with the evil roots of greed, hatred, and delusion. So if you hold on to them, what happens? It will make you evil. It will cause you to have negativity of karma. It will cause your karmic nature to fall. So this is what happens when you don't know how to reflect. You don't know how to contemplate. That's why this unthinking is actually contemplation. But these are thought-based. Do you understand? These are not meditative solutions. Initially, you can use it, but after a while, it may not really work. But initially, because this is cultivation of the 4 right effort, the right effort to abundance, so you have to learn them. Initially, you learn them. Then after that, you will move on to the more effective one. We call the meditative way. The third way is the meditative way. Just aware. Just aware. This is the meditative way. So when you are just aware of the unwholesome thought like fear, anger, hatred, you just stay with it, be with it. The awareness just aware. You just feel it, understand or feel it. Then you find out what happened. When you don't give it any more thinking energy or thought energy, that whole thing will cease. You must experience it. When the whole of that negative thought, fear, worry, anxiety, or even lust, craving, all this you can apply it. The moment you silent and maintain awareness, because these are not intrinsic within your true mind, your true nature. Anger, hatred, envy, jealousy, all these unwholesome thoughts, they are dependent originating. But before they arise in you, it was never there. Then how did it arise? That's why the fourth way we will learn that. Also meditative way. But when you stay with it aware, it will cease. Because these are dependent originating mind states. So this mind state will cease when you just aware. That's why the power of awareness to deal with defilement is very powerful. The awareness is like a wisdom energy. It will see clearly the defilement. And this defilement, you no need to use thought to do anything with it. The moment you understand that it will cease by itself, that this is dependent originating, no more condition for it to proliferate or move or to become more agitated, it will cease to be. That's why awareness is very powerful. You shine the light of awareness on it, all defilement cease. So this third way is most powerful. Yeah. But this one cannot allow you to live life, understand? Every time you got problem, you need to lie down and meditate or sit or relax and maintain awareness. You cannot. Then after that, you come out peaceful. Go out again, come back with the problem. Never get resolved, understand? But you know, but the wisdom is not penetrative enough. So the Buddha teach you the fourth way. The fourth way is to trace the origination factor. So this one is very important. Then retrospectively, reverse it. So this one is more effective. So how do you trace the origination factor? How do you trace the origination factor? Huh? You have to find out, isn't it? Before I get angry, there was no anger. How did I get angry? You trace. If you are mindful, aware, you will know. Means either you saw something. In Cantonese they say sun ngana. Means you saw something that disturbed you. You could have seen your enemy or somebody who had cheated you before or play you out before or say certain thing that is very bitter that the memory recall. That's why you get angry with that guy because you recall through memory what he has done and all things. And sometimes you hear through your hearing conscious somebody scolded you, abused you, say all those harsh words towards you, especially in the job environment when your boss throw the foul at you and tell you off. Useless guy, stupid fellow. I don't know how I ever had employed you. How do you feel? You want to get angry, you also worried. He is the boss. You may lose your job. So you are in a dilemma. So all this is how you trace. It's either through something you hear or you recall to memory or you see. The seeing, the hearing, and the memory, these three are very powerful. So when this unwholesome mind state arise through wrong thought, all this wrong thought, they arise because of your wrong view. Without wrong view, it will not arise. Because you react to what you see, what you hear, and what you recall to memory. So this reaction of mind created the evil root of anger, hatred, jealousy, everything. Then when they arise, according to Satipatthana Sutta, when you have the ability to develop mindfulness of the 6 internal sense bases and the 6 external sense bases, then you see all these things. You start to have the ability to understand how they originate. Then when you know how they come to be, you will know how to reverse it retrospectively. Correct or not? So you ask yourself, what actually went wrong? What actually happened? You ask yourself, why must I react when I see that guy? Why must I get angry when I heard all these abusive words? It all comes about through what? Self-delusion, sakkaya-ditthi. Because I believe I exist. There is a me, an I. There is an enemy, people whom I don't like. Then somebody say something, hit the egoic mind because I believe I am that. But if you have the understanding of the Dhamma, then you become different. So you realize it's wrong view, self-delusion. So how can I root out self-delusion? If I know through the meditation, like what Angie mentioned just now, every phenomenon, they have the universal characteristics of impermanent leading to suffering. And because it's impermanent, it's not me, not I. Therefore, he no me, he no you. So to straighten the view, I need to understand this. And when I understand this, then I realize people are just the way they are. Through ignorance, they do ignorant things. Selfish people do selfish things. They are just the way they are. So I have to have this right view to develop the ability to accept them for what they are. That's why the Buddha says, see things as they are. Accept them for what they are. Then the world is the world. Why are we so agitated by what happened to the world? Understand? That's why nowadays with social media words, WhatsApp, very emotional. Small thing, how can this guy do this? All those things. I mean, there's no harm receiving this information, but you have to learn how to filter them and ask yourself, what are you doing? Whatever you do, is it conducive for society? Is it helping society? Or is it helping somebody to propagate all this, to create more division, misunderstanding, more anger, more emotion? If you don't reflect on all this, what you do could have karmic implications, understand? What you send out influence people, understand? People who don't have the Dhamma will be affected. That's how the mob, they call what? Mob, M-O-B. M-O-B has a mob instinct. The mob instinct, they like act together. Then they like not rational anymore. Like the Hong Kong protesters are so conditioned. Then you try to be right and wrong. Cannot. These people are just the way they are. If you want to argue about right and wrong until the cow come home also, you cannot find the answer. Why must you argue and try to blame? No. It's because living being lack understanding, lack wisdom. That's why this thing come about. So it is a consciousness that evolved because somebody did something. So condition like that. So you learn to accept them for what they are first. Then through your own understanding, you radiate love, you radiate metta. Then you help out by assimilating things that are useful, helpful. Do you understand? Have you received the Hanayo one? Her one is not bad. Hanayo. He said, enough of this division already, enough of all this problem already. Now is time to reconcile, and do not deviate from all this. Do not fall into the trap of people who want to instigate through ratio and all those things. No. Otherwise, more and more chaotic. Understand? Everybody becomes so charged up, so emotional. Then what you do? You end up like Hong Kong. Everybody lose. Understand? You have to do it through the Dhamma way, through an understanding. That's why Krishnamurti is very wise. He said the individual must change for society to change. Each and every one. Because we are the summation of the collective consciousness of society. Understand? Like our Malaysian society. You can talk about New Malaysia, but it's a summation of all the consciousness of the Malaysian people. Or people who are in Malaysia. So these are the aspects of Dhamma that we need to learn, to establish. And every time we reflect, we contemplate, everything we want to send out. Is it conducive? Is it helpful? Otherwise, avoid. Avoid. That's why only useful information that you can contribute, like we all Kayamita. Every session we contribute. Do you know how we contribute? We chant blessing for the nation. Understand? We invoke power of merit. Deo Vasatukalena Sasa Sampati Hetu Cha Fito Bhavatu Loko Cha Raja Bhavatu Dhammiko. So we invoke power of merits for causes and conditions for the nation to have a righteous government, a righteous king. Then we invoke causes and conditions for our people to have the good harvest. May the rain fall in the right place and all those things. May the farmer and all those producers have good harvest, good return on their whatever. For manufacturing is different. Return on their product or on their investment or whatever industry they are in. So all these are wholesomeness. So if you do all this, the fifth way is not important. The fifth way is, the Buddha said, if after teaching you all this 4 ways, you also still cannot do it. In the Cantonese way, he says, chap sa, you do yourself. he cannot help you anymore. So he said, the fifth way, with your tongue against your palate. How to spell? Yi-U-E, tongue against your palate. You know what is palate, no? Your palate. How to spell? L-L-E-T-T-E. Tongue against your palate. Determine strongly to abandon it. To abandon it. So this one is the complete one. So first 2, you can learn, try. So this part is the first part. First right effort, to abandon the unwholesome thought. So there are 5 ways to do it, but the best one is the third and the fourth. The first 2, you only develop it so that you can cultivate the Noble Eightfold Path. Opposite wholesome means all the virtuous thought, virtuous speech and action. This is cultivating Noble Eightfold Path. Then the second right effort is what you will do. You will only have the ability when you have reflected, contemplated, and done these 5 ways. No need 5, 4. First 4 enough. Especially third and fourth. Then after that, you will develop the wisdom and the understanding. You know how to retrospectively reverse it through right view, through straightening your view. So after you have the ability to straighten your view, you will be able to have the understanding to prevent the unwholesome thought from arising. So the second right effort is right effort to prevent the wrong thought, wrong speech, and wrong action from arising. Means, with this understanding, yoniso manasikara, wisdom, then at the moment of sense experience, it will come out and prompt you. Then it will tell you, this is evil, lead to negativity or karma. Then you can abandon it. Then sometimes you can even talk to that thought. Enough. You have caused me enough suffering, especially those in depression. Like I remember last time, Alicia used to tell the thought, enough, you have tormented me for 16 years. Don't come and disturb me anymore. Straight away, the unwholesome thought, the wrong thought, the depressive thought, reverse, cease by itself. Because of the understanding, the wisdom. But the moment he saw, he straight away recalled, these are the wrong thoughts that she was holding on to. That's why she was in depression for 16 years. Go and see psychiatrist, take all the medication, or no use. Doesn't help. When he came to my Tuesday class, within a few months, she came out of it. Then she was chasing my recorded talk. You ask Suyan, he every time chased Suyan, the recording. That's why Suyan now very fast, very efficient. That night finished, middle of the night you receive. So, all this understanding will arise. Then you will know how to abandon them. Then I come to the third right effort. The third right effort is even more beautiful. You must arise the right effort to arise the wholesome thought, wholesome action, and wholesome speech that are still not in you. That is cultivating Noble Eightfold Path. What constitutes right thought, right speech, right action? Right thought, all the virtuous thoughts are right thought. That's why you will write it down. Contentment, gratitude, like just now Angie mentioned. Then, what else? Respect. What else? Love. Then, sincerity. Understand? So, all these are virtuous thoughts. Then, kindness, gentleness, pleasantness, even goodness. There's a wholesome thought, there are a lot. The 4 Brahma Vihara are all wholesome thoughts. But not only these 4. There's a rejoicing is also a wholesome thought. Gratitude towards people, respect, contentment. Then also you have this, what they call love, joy, happiness. Then the meditative peace, calmness. These are all wholesome mind states. Tranquility, stillness. Then after that, when it comes to speech, what are right speech? What constitutes right speech? Yeah? If you don't know them, you cannot cultivate. Proper, appropriate, kind and gentle speeches that leads to harmony, love, understanding. No more negativity. That's why you must speak in a very gentle manner. Gentle, pleasant, and appropriate, wholesome speeches that can bring about harmony, joy, happiness, bring about understanding, bring about harmony, no more division and all those things. Then what about right action? What is right action? Huh? What are right action? The first precept is what? Opposite of first precept. Non-killing. When you don't harm and don't kill living beings, what type of virtue do you have? You have compassion, you have love, you have kindness. You are very kind, you are very gentle, you are very pleasant. And you have love, you have compassion in your heart. That's why all these are right action. Then if you don't steal from people, means what? You cultivate the ennobler. Generosity. So a generous act is right action. A sincere act is right action. So a lot of action based on virtue are all right action. Your gratitude towards people who have helped you, these are right thought and right action. Then you rejoice and you thank them. This is how you express all this right action, right speech and right thought. Then when you talk to people, learn to talk in a very gentle and pleasant manner. How can I help you? Did I cause you any misunderstanding or suffering? If I have done it, I would like to ask for forgiveness. Then say this nice word, thank you so much for helping. People feel very good, isn't it? True or not? Excuse me, may I ask you a question? Or can you help me? I need assistance. I'm from where. So all these are very important. Right speech, right communication. Especially you work in a service industry, emergency unit. Your speech is very important. A lot of people doesn't know how to communicate. Do you realize that? They are very rude and very crude. Seldom you meet somebody who is very gentle and very nice. That's why when I go to government department or I go to this service industry or people who attend to me or whatever, they feel very good. They like to help me and talk to me. I always thank them. Then I will smile first. I say morning or good evening. Then sometimes you see his mood. If he's not happy or whatever, then you talk to her very nicely. And then after that, depend on how she reply or whatever, you always remember to thank her. Thank you so much. You have been very helpful. Thank you. I tell you, her day will be brightened as well. Most people go there, make life difficult for them. But you are the only one that brighten up their life. That's why they like you and they remember you. These are the things. That's why I speak to people in a very, very gentleness, pleasantness, with understanding. Appropriate speech is very important. And this is noble effort of cultivation. Do you know that? Right effort to arise all this right action, right speech and right thought that are still not in you. Then the last right effort is what? Right effort to arise? To refine upon and perfect whatever right action, right speech and right thought that you have. Don't go and think that you already have mastered them. You can still improve on them. Understand? There are many ways. Then the most important one is to your own loved ones. appreciate what your spouse has done for you, understand, or sacrifice for you. You thank them, I tell you, they feel so good now. And they are willing to work very hard for you, understand. You all don't appreciate. I used to give this analogy, then you all will understand. You know what is a spouse or not? Especially the wife. If she is a housewife. Do you know how much appreciation or gratitude you must have for them? Because you are married to them, they are willing to work for you. Maid you hire, you have to pay, agent fee, maid's salary. Then maid doesn't always listen to you. This one, no salary, work for you for free, and take care of your whole household. And you somehow don't appreciate, somehow every time want to quarrel, get angry, tit and tat, scolding here and there. That's why you must have gratitude. Then you go back, you say, thank you so much for helping out. This is what we call gratitude towards people who has contributed towards our life, our family unit. Then sometimes you thank them for helping to look after the children. All this may not be like in the company they call profit center, understand? You know what is profit center? Bring in the money one. So the husband or the household who bring in the money one, they always say this is a profit center. The housewife is not a profit center. It's a cost center. Understand? All need to pay on. Buy sundry thing, buy rice, buy milk powder, everything is cost center. But do you know how much they contribute? Their contribution is way beyond. And they sacrifice for you because out of love. That's why when you can reflect and contemplate, you will have a lot of gratitude towards them. You will thank them for what they have done. Then there is harmony, understand? Otherwise you take things for granted. That word is very important for spouse. Never take your spouse for granted. You take them for granted. You never say even those very important kind word that doesn't cost you anything, understand? That you can make them feel so good. And you don't know how to use it. That's why Noble Eightfold Power is so powerful. You don't know how to apply right thought, right speech, especially right speech, then right action. Right action means what? Do something that they will feel rewarded and happy. I think you deserve a good dinner. What about this weekend? Where would you like to go for dinner? I tell you, your wife will hug you. Thank you deeply. But instead, never really have this gratitude or whatever. Then sometimes the opposite also, you must think, the wife also must think of the husband. They sacrifice so much in the office. They take all the pressure from the bosses and all those things, the board of director, under tremendous pressure, like pressure cooker. Come back, someone got to face the family. Not easy. So sometimes you can really feel for them, and then you observe their behavior. Then you know something happened in the office. Very moody, and like not himself, understand? Or like got problem inside there. Then you must, as a spouse or wife, you must know how to attend to them. How are you? You don't seem happy today. Did anything happen in the office? Then console. Talk to them nicely. Then give them faith, confidence. Motivate them. Don't worry. Worst case scenario, change job. We can survive. Understand? Hunt it. Hunt it means what? More frugally. No problem. Understand? So that they are confident. Otherwise, they're scared of losing the job. They try to yan. Means they try to bear all those stress, pressure, and all those things. What for? Life is not about money alone. You can find your true happiness when you have the Dhamma. Dhamma can actually bring about a lot of understanding to free your mind.